If you haven't watched the video before this one, I suggest you do. If not, if you don't want to, then you may be missing some context here. However, I will still go on. My previous video was about the fact that currency should not be what we run our systems on. Currency was never made to benefit everybody. In fact, it was only made to benefit the few. That was its design. However, currently speaking, we have a bit of an ordeal. How do we take our first steps? How do we move forward towards abolishing currency? Or do we abolish currency first? Well, for that to take place, we would need all world leaders to be on the same page, together. All of them looking out for all of us, not just their people, because we're all just one. Their country is just that, their country. We're not looking to remove you from your land. In fact, the proposition is completely opposite. In fact, instead of forcing people to give up their sovereign right to own their own land, instead embrace it. Embrace that land, not the people, because you don't own them. Those people are not your people. You just represent them. And they should have a much bigger voice than you should. But we don't allow that. Out of fear. Fear of what comes next. However, I have the steps. In fact, I have all of them. All the way to exploring the universe. I said to myself one day that if we got rid of currency, we would become intergalactic within 100 years. Within that first 100 years, we would become intergalactic species. We will have evolved well beyond recognition, to the point where we are all of such high power. So much capabilities. But all of them are being thwarted due to restrictions of food, shelter, education. All basic needs for a human to develop into the best human they can be. Why is it that millions of years ago, humans lived hundreds of years? Why? Why is that? But now we have a life expectancy of like 85 in some places. What happened to us? What do we have now that we didn't have then? Money. Currency. Everybody says it's the root of all evil. Root of all evil. I'd say it is the evil. Because what's really the cause of greed? If every basic need is met, right? Every basic need for everybody is met. Who's to complain? I'm sure there's still going to be complaints. But if every country is giving, not selling, but giving to every country, one or two resources. How many countries are in the world? Well, a lot. There's a lot. A lot of countries. And there's a lot of people in each of those countries. But each country is only ran by, well, in some places, one person. That's it. One person. Are all of our needs really met through governance of a single person? No. If that was the case, all of our needs would be met right now. There would be no hunger. There would be no starvation. No thirst. No homeless. In fact, money is preventing a lot of things from happening. Why is money preventing when we should be looking at progressing? Let's get into this now that I've sort of prefaced my previous video, which, by the way, if you're still with me, I appreciate it. Step 1, establish a global resource allocation framework. Why? To prevent chaos. You need a transparent way to track what is needed, where it is, and who can supply it. Yeah. Action. Create a decentralized but globally connected resource management system powered by AI and open data. Now, I understand, again, many people are still skeptical of AI and AI powered anything for that matter. Now, I myself refuse to buy an AI powered vehicle. And that's my own opinions and whatnot. But I digress. The fact that we don't have this is big. I'm sorry, this is massive. Resources, food, energy, materials, tools are tracked and allocated based on verified needs, not payment. Your needs should outweigh how much money you have. Because the money you have shouldn't matter. Your needs need to be met. It is a human right. Nations and communities submit their surplus and request needs. Key principles: access based on needs. Access based on needs. Contribution based on capacity. Capacity. Let's break that down. Contributions made by a country or state, what have you, wherever you are, contributions made by your location should be based on the capacity of which it can hold and of which it can provide. Those are contributions. Now, your needs should not suffer due to your contributions. In accordance. Shouldn't. And if it is, then it's wrong. And it's being done wrong. And they should be called out for it. Next step. Automate undesirable and essential labor. Now, I understand many places and many places, businesses. I understand. Not everything is automated yet. In fact, most things are on the verge of it, but not there yet. I understand this, okay? However, let me continue. To avoid coercing people into doing necessary tasks with no financial incentive. Now, what that means is do what you're good at and what you like. That is your contribution. Your life is controlled by enjoyment and fulfillment. And the fulfillment of others. That is step 2. Now, let me finish. Action. Massively expand robotic, AI, and decentralized automation systems. Decentralized, not centralized. No. Stay the fuck away from that. We centralize nothing. Nothing. Okay? We decentralize all of that. Because we are a one. We are all together in this. No man left behind. Waste management, farming and food distribution, infrastructure maintenance, and manufacturing of essentials. All of these things controlled by automation. Where automation isn't ready, this is important. Form community rotation cooperatives. That's what we do instead of automation for those places. For the areas we can't, we do that. For the areas we can't yet, we do that. Let's move on to step 3. I apologize if this video gets to be a little bit long. I will try my hardest to stay as close to... You know what? We're almost done. We're almost done with this video. Fuck it. We'll just continue. Okay? Alright. Step 3. Redirect human effort toward meaningful contribution. That's step 3. I understand I touched on it in step 2 a little, actually, probably too much. But, again, I digress. Why? People need purpose. And right now, everybody's purpose is to get as much money as they can. That is their purpose right now. No, too many people have the exact same purpose. Too many. Way too many. Everybody. That's not right. And they're all selfish about it, too. And I'm not talking about you in particular. There are times where everybody gets greedy. Everybody gets selfish. But when all of us are fighting about money, kind of seems like that's where the greed starts from, isn't it? But people need purpose. So give them that. Remove money and new incentives must rise. Action? Build a global contribution and recognition network. Anything you contribute, anything you contribute will be tallied. Because that belongs to you. That idea, that premise. That's not to say somebody else can't have that same thing of their own. Invent the same thing. Come up with the same idea. But it's a matter of how helpful is it to your community, to the general population, or even to the world. Now, depending on these 3 different degrees is how many points you get allocated to you. Now, again, a point network system is kind of bullshit. Because, again, we're going back to numbers and money, but not tangible money. However, there is one difference. These points can't be taken away from you. You can't subtract points. You can only increase. And so when there's a scoreboard of everyone in the world, how many points they have and whatnot, some people are bound to have a lot. And some people are bound to have a little. However, the incentive then becomes those points. Coming up with new ideas, you get more points. Invent a new invention, you get more points. You come up with a new system on how to farm, how to properly fix things that others can't. All of these contributions then become points onto your tally. They are favors that you now have proof of forever. You have proof of everything you have contributed. So that way, everyone gets their fair chance. at contributing as much as they can and getting as many points as they can. Hell, it's a game. Why not? Why not make it a game? Add some sort of luxury prize at the end or something. Like, you reach this age and you have this many points. Guess what? You get this luxury thing. It could be anything. Anything, really. If you're in an area of expertise, any area of expertise, and you are using your current skills to teach others, train them of the trade, which, again, no longer trade, because we don't trade off. We give freely. Freely. All of us. Well, how do we enforce this? Enforcement's a very big thing, isn't it? Isn't it? Well, see, that's the thing. We enforce it with individuals, communities. No more death as a punishment. In fact, why are we putting people in jail? I understand there are a lot of wrongdoers. There are a lot of bad things that people do. We all know this. It happens too often. But again, aren't most of them breaking the law because they don't have the money to be law-abiding and support their families, support themselves? Instead of being homeless, they turn to crime. Instead of going hungry, they turn to crime. Instead of going thirsty, they turn to crime. Murders still happen. Adultery still happens. But when most murders are caused by money, somebody gets mugged on the side of the road, their wallet stolen, and just thrown in a ditch, right? For their money. For money, for paper. Can we actually get to the bottom of this right quick? Somebody out there is killing for paper. How crazy have we made our society wrapped up and indoctrinated with consumerism and monetary gain to the extent that we are killing each other over paper? Why? But again, I digress. Build a global contribution and recognition network. It tracks what people create, what people teach, what people build, what people invent, and what they solve. So if you solve a problem, you will be rewarded for it. not taken advantage of or silenced. Provides public recognition. Public. To everyone. Everyone. If you're in Bangkok, China, and you want to hear about somebody in Peru, cool. Go for it. You want to hear, if you're in America, and you want to hear about the things that somebody is teaching out in Saudi Arabia, go for it. You can see what they are contributing. You can see what everyone is contributing. Access to more advanced tools. Now I'm talking to governments here, because they're the ones that are withholding all of the classified tools that we, as a populace, require to progress as a society together. Instead of you guys doing it by yourself and leaving the rest of us behind. And social standing through a merit web. Not money. Merit web. You get a merit for everything you do. Everything you contribute. Teach. Solve. Create. Build. Invent. Anything you do that benefits yourself or others, you will be merited. You will be acknowledged. And you will be recognized. Motivation is purpose. Growth and recognition. Motivation is not profit. It's not. It was never meant to be. Money was not designed for growth. It was not designed for purpose. And it was not designed for recognition. Currency has been ruining it all. Okay. I apologize for the bit of a head tilt or so. I know it bugs somebody out there. So I'm apologizing in advance. On to the next step. Step 4. Form a transitional global council. Now, again, this sounds a lot like a new world order, which is not at all what I am fucking suggesting. Not one bit. New world order means a handful of people govern everybody. That's not right. That's not how it should be. That is not what I plan to do. Instead, the Global Council will not be permanent. It'll be solely for transitional purposes only. And I said that slowly so you can understand me. Transitional purposes only. After that, they too are abolished. To resolve disputes and oversee the shift during the volatile years, the starting years, the beginning ones, these ones. Appoint rotating representatives from all regions. Rotating. Nobody is in there for life. Nobody. In fact, we should treat this global council sort of like how America does with jury duty. Everybody gets a chance. And everybody's word matters. Not just one. And I'm not even talking about we're bringing politicians in. No, 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 no. In fact, we will disband. We will disband almost all political views. Disband all political views. All political parties. Disband them all. And replace them with scientists, engineers, ethicists, social leaders, and indigenous voices. Natives, scientists, engineers, thinkers, all governing together. It doesn't matter if you're tribal. It doesn't matter if you're a nuclear physicist. Everybody is heard. And everybody gets a chance to lead. Guide ethics, fairness, and balance across resource systems, environmental priorities, and human rights. Human rights, all of them. Not just some. All human rights will be met. And be met fairly. This council is temporary. Its goal is to disperse power. Disperse power. Not centralize it. Step 5. Decentralize governance and empower local communities. Give the power to the people. Isn't that what America was supposed to be built on? That's what it was supposed to be. Not what it is today. And whoever changed it, whoever diverted the course, I'm sure they regret it. Without money, people need agency to feel secure and engaged. And they also need to feel heard and listened to. Each community develops its own LAP, local access plan. Local access plan, okay? what they can provide, what they need, and how they self-organize work, education, healthcare, and innovation. Innovation's a big one, because that's where the progress is, isn't it? AI-powered planning tools. And I apologize. I'm terrible at reading as well. AI-powered planning tools to avoid burnout and imbalance. If everything is being ran through an AI who doesn't give a fuck about any one of us, ultimately everything is bound to be fair and balanced, correct? Correct. Because ultimately, we designed the software. They just give us the facts. That's all it is. Again, I understand. AI, it's a bit scary. But again, innovation is coming. And I'd prefer it to be good innovation. And this is how we do it. Launch a new global education system. Minds must be free from capitalist indoctrination and trained for cooperative living. Cooperative living. That's not something you hear every day. Oh, you don't want somebody in your house? Well, guess what? You're allowed to go into theirs too. Or not. Because again, that's not what we're talking about. Because your home is your home. Okay? Your home is your home. If there needs to be more homes built, they will be built. Simple. They'll be built. They'll be allowed to be built. A worldwide open learning grid. This one's important. This is very important. So listen carefully to this one. Okay? Focus on problem solving, emotional intelligence, and system thinking, and automation maintenance and ethics. I don't see anything in there about politics. Where where's the politics in this new world? In this new era? Huh? Where's the politics? There aren't. We're not going to fight with each other anymore. What's the point of it? Does it ever get the point across? No. Ask any married man. How many times have you fought with your how many times have you fought with your wife? Well, a bunch. Okay, how many times have you won? Probably none. Well, vice versa sometimes too. But again, just constant bickering. But this says to train people in cooperative living. Supportive housing. Not just housing. If somebody is being mistreated, they're allowed to relocate to someone else's home where they do feel safe. And I know in America that sounds like something that's kind of already a thing, but also isn't. And I understand. Again, these are all things that have been implemented to a small degree, but not enough to matter. We need a full-blown redirect away from our current course. That's what we need. Everyone teaches and learns lifelong access for all. Everybody. Not just me. Not just you. Everybody. Everybody gets access. For their entire life. They're allowed to learn whatever they want. They're allowed to invent and create and build. But they can't do that unless they have the ability to learn at all times. Because if they don't have that access to information, like many countries in the world do, many countries in the world don't have access to information. They don't have access to these kinds of resources. Why are we pushing them aside instead of helping them out? Why? We could all be on the same page for once. Number 7. Number 7 is the one that's going to impact everybody. Even more than probably abolishing currency in the first place. Use technology to flatten global inequality. Why haven't we done that yet? We call these countries third world. Third world? The fuck is third world? Earth? Oh yeah, Earth. That means all of us are third world, aren't we? The fuck is third world? Why aren't we helping them? Why aren't we? Money. No monetary gain, no value, according to their net worth. Do you see the problem? Do you see the correlation? Inequality won't vanish just because money is gone. That's not how you fix inequality. That's how you get a lot of the people in the world to stop fighting. That's not how you diminish inequality. Inequality is curbed. Actually, not even curbed. No, inequality is removed. Inequality is removed when everybody is on the same spot technologically. Build high-speed internet, water purification, renewable energy, and food synthesis in every region. Every fucking region. Every region. All of them. That is a lot of resources and shit. I get that. But again, if money is of no object, what is stopping us? Use drones, solar, AI powered diagnostics, and prefab buildings to uplift neglected zones quickly. You know, the impoverished nations that all of us, you know, in the free world laugh at because we think they don't know anything, yet America is one of the dumbest populations to exist. Really? Where's the fucking equality in that? They're at least more polite than we are. Bring everyone to a baseline of dignity. Dignity matters to everybody. My dignity matters. Everybody should have dignity. If you don't have dignity, then I'll tell you now, it's probably because you gave it up because you didn't care anymore. Why didn't you care anymore? Simple. Not enough money to give a shit, right? Bring everyone to a baseline of dignity. No luxuries until no one is hungry. No more fucking space trips until no one in the world is hungry anymore, please. Like you guys are out here launching shit in the air. Like 7th graders with a bottle rocket. For billions and billions of dollars. For what? For what? Luxury. Really? I don't even need to say it. No luxury.